In this video, we're going to be taking a look on pages Word 14 and 15 out of the textbook, which is entitled Use a Document Template. Word includes many templates that you can use to create letters, reports, brochures, calendars, and other professionally designed documents quickly. A template is a formatted document that contains placeholder text and graphics, which you replace with your own text and graphics. To create a document that is based on a template, you use the New command on the File tab in the Backstage view, and then select a template to use. You can then customize the document and save it with a new file name. So if you remember, during the last video, we had closed down our document that we were working on, and now we're going to create a new document based upon a template. And to do this, we take a look at step 1. And step 1 tells us that we're going to click on the File tab. So we click on the File tab up here, and then we're going to select and click on New. And of course, you'll notice that there are some pre-designed templates here, and you can take a look. There's several of them and a lot of really professional looking documents. However, what we're going to do is that we're going to look down at step 2, and we're going to click on the letters in the Suggested Searches section. And of course, that is directly underneath the search bar up here. And we see that here's the suggested searches, where we have letters, resumes, fax, labels, cards, and so on. So we're going to click on letters. Now, one thing to remember is that when you're searching up for templates and everything, that you must have an internet or an active internet connection to search for those templates. Now, step 3 tells us that we're going to scroll down until we find the cover letter aligned thumbnail on the new screen. And we're going to click it and then preview the template in the preview window that's going to open, and then we're going to click on Create. Now, one thing, especially since this book has been printed on there, that we have to remember that templates will change over time. And so if you don't find this template, or if it's not available, then we're going to select another cover letter template on there, or we're going to just look through the steps on there to understand how to work with templates. However, they have changed the name of this template, so we're not going to be looking for the cover letter aligned template. If we scroll down a little bit here, we do have a similar template that is on there, and it is going to be called a cover letter on there, but it has a little bit of a different name. Now, just a few things to notice while we're scrolling down through here, that some of these are applications for Word, and some of those do require a cost that's on there. Most of these are free, though, and free for you to use. Also, you do have some categories over here as well. So if we were wanting to find a cover letter, we could scroll down through all of this, which this is the one that we are going to be using, the cover letter for chronological resumes, simple design. But we could also have went to the cover letter over here and selected it, and that would give us titles or templates that have cover letter in the name of that. But this is the one that we want to look for right here, and this is the cover letter for chronological resume simple design. So we're going to use this one here. And when you click on it, this gives you, this is the preview window that is opening up. Now, if you want to use this template on here, we're going to click on Create. And of course, it downloads it from the internet. And notice that by default, it's already put in your name on there, or this may be your computer name. It depends on if you're logged in properly into the Word system, because probably you'll notice that one thing up here is on your account settings. When you log into the computer, it generally will recognize your name, and it will by default go ahead and input that in on the fields in which it has your name fields. Now, next on here, we're going to take a look at step 4 and everything, and it tells us that we're going to click the ribbon display options button on the title bar if the ribbon is not displayed. Now, ours is displayed, but the display ribbon options button is right up here. And this is where you can either auto hide it, show the tabs only, and then when you click on a tab it shows the ribbon, or you can have it where it shows the tabs and the commands all together, and that's the one that we definitely want to have. So you want to make sure that your tabs and your ribbon is up here as well. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to click on where it says click to select date in the document. Now, the placeholder text is going to be selected, and it appears inside what we call a content control. And a content control is an interactive object that you use to customize a document with your own information. A content control might include placeholder text, a drop-down list of choices, or a calendar. Now in step 5, we're going to click on the click to select a date list arrow, which is right over here. This list arrow, when we click on it, notices that it will give us a calendar on here, and of course the current date on here is selected. And of course the calendar opens up below this content control, and you use the calendar to select the date you want to appear on the document. And to do that, you just simply click on a date on the calendar to enter that date in the document. However, we are going to click on the button that says Today, and that is step 6. It tells us to click the Today button on the calendar, which is at the bottom. And when you click on that, the current date has been replaced, or replaces the placeholder text where it said click to insert date. So that is a way of using these fields or these placeholders on there and these content controls to input in information for you. And so you can kind of see where a template is beneficial to use, especially if you're not for sure what the format of a document should be. Next, on step 7, it tells us that we want to click the recipient name, which is right underneath the date, and then we're going to type in Miss, just the MS period, Yana, Y-A-N-A, Roy, R-O-Y. And of course notice that when you click on a placeholder and you type over it, it replaces that placeholder with your text. Next, we're going to click on the title, and we're going to type in Manager. After that, it tells us we want to click on Company Name, and we're going to type in Rainforest Hotel. Then we're clicking on the street address and changing that to P.O. Box 4397. And then we're going to click on the city, state, zip code placeholder, and we're going to type in Kuching 93100, comma, Malaysia. Now, of course, you do not need to drag to select any of the placeholder text. You notice that we just clicked on it on there. And, of course, the text that you type does replace the placeholder text. Now, of course, this is a proper way on there to type in the address for a foreign country. So don't be confused on there if it doesn't match up with what you're currently used to typing in, where if you see city, state, and zip, and it's not how we would typically write this in the United States, but this is a foreign country that we are writing to, and when you do write to internationally to foreign countries and everything on there, you must use their proper way of addressing their mail. Next on there, we're going to take a look at step 8. And step 8 tells us that we're going to click on this next little area down here where it says Dear Recipient, and we're going to click on the recipient, and we're going to type in Miss Roy. Next, it tells us that we are going to click the body text placeholder text on there. So when we go down here, we click on this, and this is the body text. This is the text of our letter. And of course it gives you some tips and everything else that's on there on what you can use as far as theme colors, fonts, and everything else. But we're going to go ahead and just start typing on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to type enclosed, please find a copy of our contract for the Moreno Explorer Trek Tour. We look forward to working with you. Period. And of course, the text you type replaces the placeholder text in the greeting line, which we did as far as the Miss Roy, and then the body text of the letter has been replaced as well. Now next we want to take a look, and it says if the name in the signature block, which is right underneath here where it says sincerely and your name on there, you want to drag to select the text and then type in your name. However, if you see here, my name is properly displayed on there. But if it's not, you can easily select this and you can replace it. Because when the document is created, Word automatically enters the username identified in the Word Options dialog box in the signature block and in the control content in the upper left corner of the page. This text is not placeholder text, so that's why you have to drag to select it. So this is not a placeholder, this is a field on there that is being populated. Next, on step 10, it tells us that we're going to click on the File button here, and then Save As. And then we're going to save this document to our computer. And I said typically you want to put this in on your H drive or your home drives that the school provides for you on there. However, and it's probably going to be listed underneath some of the recent folders. However, I'm going to place mine on the desktop that's on there. And we want to save this file as WDA-rainforest letter. We're going to accept all of the defaults on here, and we're going to click on Save, and now our document has been saved, and of course notice the title is changed up here as well. Now, of course, do pay attention up here on the Quick Access toolbar is where you have the undo typing, but you also have another circle button right up here, and that is the repeat button. And this is where something like maybe if you typed in thank you, when you click on this, it's actually going to insert thank you at the location of the insertion point. Or if you just applied the bold, when you click on that, it's going to apply the bold to the currently selected text. Now you can also repeat the last action you took by pressing the F4 key on your keyboard as well. Of course, if you undo an action, there will be another button that will appear. So if I undo something, you'll notice that the repeat command has been replaced with a redo typing on there. So those buttons will switch according to what they can actually work with. And that concludes this video. You are ready to move on to the next video, and the next video is the final video in which we're going to be talking about navigating through a document.